Day 6 at an end. Couple of things. We went to see 4 shows. By the way, we're eating, so other fast food places are available, but we're always open to sponsorship should it be required or necessary. However, a couple of things that are really annoying. First of all, my pet problem, which is media from Underbelly. We had a show this morning at 11 o'clock. I checked to see if I had tickets for the second time this Fringe. Underbelly had not got back to me. That worries me insofar as I'm quite determined. I'll come back and I'll go, where is my ticket? How many reviewers haven't? And companies have not had reviewers go to see their shows because Underbelly have not got back to them. Now, it's not the people in the media office's fault. In comparison to other venues, Underbelly seems to be understaffed. So I'm not having a go at the individual media people who are fine and lovely and dandy. And this morning, once I had included in the company, there seemed to be a bit of movement. Now, the other one I also had to chase up is one that I'm going to go and see on Tuesday night. The company that I was refused entry into, which has been resolved, which will be my last show of the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, is a theatre that's exceptionally popular, and I get and understand it, but they do tend to ask you to nominate which ones you're going to review very much in advance, and that's the Traverse. And I've always found that kind of troubling, partly because in Fringe Review we don't tend to do the Traverse simply because the Guardian, the Times, all the usual kind of bigger outlets are going to do them. If you're going to go and spend time at the Fringe and you're going to be doing reviews for larger outlets, it tends to be them kind of things that you're going to go and see, and that's okay. For us, and for me, and I'm doing it for the British Theatre Guide, that's important to get into the Traverse to go and see their kind of stuff. For the British Theatre Guide, for Fringe Review, not so important. But it was a bit of a kind of, and I'm grateful to my editor who queried that, and I'm in. Media to one side. Saw 4 good shows today, particularly the last one, Beats on Point, which was great. Couple of things in there which I'll pick up in the review, but actually as a feel-good show, really, really worth it. However, let me talk more about food. Let me talk about cargo burgers. Let me talk about cargo burgers at the side of the assembly. Now, one of the things that annoyed me a few days ago when I went to get a coffee at Assembly Roxy, Rocket Monkey is an Ayrshire coffee roaster, and they are being used in Assembly right throughout. And when I went to Assembly Roxy and asked for a cup of coffee, they told me that their coffee machine wasn't making very nice coffee, which I thought was very, very odd, but I left it. Got a cup of coffee out there today, and it was the usual standard that I would expect from an Ayrshire-based roastery. Cargo burgers, side of the assembly, George Square. Do us a favour. Number 1, if you've got 2 people on working, get them to work. Wee chit chats and all the rest of it, lovely, nice. I'm sure you're great friends with each other. Gonna shut up. Gonna cook. I had a poor woman with 3 or 4 children beside me who had stood there for 10 to 15 minutes with kids getting increasingly fractious until eventually she said, "Is it coming?" At which point the guy says, the first part of your order flew away. So what was it? And yet within 2 or 3 minutes he was able to rustle it up. So if it flew away, how do they know what it was that they were cooking? Bizarre. And why did he wait until she approached them before he actually put his hands up and said, "This is a problem"? 2, it's £8.50 for a cargo burger. It's £9.50 for a cargo burger BLT, which includes bacon, lettuce, tomato. You can also get for £1.50 skinny fries. The menu's no like a Gordon Ramsay explosion. It's no tough, it's no hard, but it's $8.50. It's a tenner, including the chips. So, imagine my surprise. Now, I've eaten out a lot of these places, and I tend to expect, the mac and cheese, you can get it with truffle oil. You can get it with haggis. The fish and chips is award-winning fish and chips. The gelato is gelato. So imagine my surprise when my cargo burger, which was a bun, was not brioche, was toasted, but was what looks like a McGee's own 45 pence a roll out of Tesco's, followed by a burger. Standard, nothing particularly fancy about the way it was cooked, with, I'll forgive the plastic cheese, I happened to watch on the television just this very weekend the second best burger in the world man who made it say that plastic cheese is the best cheese because it has a low melt threshold, and more importantly, it doesn't detract from the taste of the burger. So there was plastic cheese. I can take that. Then there was supposed to be some balsamic onions, which are traditionally onions fried for a long period of time, eventually with, either at the beginning or towards the end, with vinegar in it. Balsamic vinegar just colours it slightly different because it softens the onions. If there was a teaspoon in it, I'd be surprised. $8.50. Paolo's in Kirkintilloch does the exact same burger for £4.50 or thereabouts. Come on, if you're going to charge them kind of prices, you got to provide that type of experience. But that's me. Moan's over. Nothing else to moan about, except go get him now after my dinner. And on Tuesday night it is going to be off to the kebab shop. Till then, bye for now.